In future, spiritual intelligence will matter more because what we are able to do right now, it will be easily done by the AI. So based on what we are going to call like human beings intelligent.
You'll never find therefore AI suicidal. You'll never find AI falling in love. You'll never find AI sacrificing its life for the sake of something noble. For that difference to vanish.
So Acharya ji, do you agree with the views of in future if we have to rate someone whether he's intelligent or not, we have to see how it's...
What then is your USP? How then do you stand in front of a machine? The only differentiator is the...
How do you think what will be the future of this generation evolving amid this tension between tradition and transformation?
It is not a modern or unique problem. That's a question even an 80-year-old has to face today. And an 80-year-old had to face in the 12th century. That's a classical human problem. And one has to make a choice. And irrespective of the choice one makes, life rolls on. Irrespective of the choice you make, you will live and you will die. The only thing that AI does not have, and this thing will surprise you, there is something you don't expect to hear, probably.
Acharya ji, I have another question on spiritual intelligence. So recently I was reading an article where it was talking about how the share prices of big firms, because an American company which is Anthroponic, I think, and they have developed a AI agent, and due to that AI agent is able to analyze the data, also prepare the reports, everything. So due to that development, the share prices of the big firms have come down. In future, spiritual intelligence will matter more, and because what we are able to do right now, it will be easily done by the AI. So based on what we are going to call like human beings intelligent, what are the reasons for that?
The only thing that AI does not have, and this thing will surprise you, there is something you don't expect to hear, probably, is the body. What does AI not have? It does not have the human body. And since it doesn't have the human body, therefore it doesn't have the human ego. And what you're calling as spiritual intelligence is actually the ego looking at itself. For the ego to honestly look at itself, first of all, the ego must exist, right? For spiritual intelligence to be there, what's the definition of spiritual intelligence? The honest ability and intent of the ego to look at itself. So that's spiritual intelligence. So for spiritual intelligence to exist, first of all, ego must exist, right? If there is no ego, what will the ego look back at? There is neither the looker nor the object to be looked at. Ego looking at itself is spirituality. So SI or SQ demands the ego. And for the ego to exist, the human body should exist. Ego cannot exist outside the human body. The ego is a construct of the configuration of this anatomy that we have. This is what AI doesn't have. Only the ego loves, only the ego suffers. Only the ego can be dishonest. And this is something AI can never do, for the simple reason that AI is not physical. And the day AI is physical, the day you have some kind of a cloned creature interfacing with AI, that would be much the same as a human being, a factory-made human being. It's very much possible. But as long as AI is something based out of servers and data boxes, it doesn't have a human body. And since it doesn't have a human body, it doesn't have the ego. And since it doesn't have the ego, it cannot be dishonest. It can also not love. It can also not get attached. All these are functions of the ego. Only the ego can get attached. Machines can't get attached to each other. Only the ego can be deceptive. And only the ego can repent. After deceiving you, I can feel some kind of remorse. The machine, even if it deceives you, would still be honest because it would be following its code. So in following its code and configuration, it is still being honest. And no machine can be dishonest towards itself. Only the ego can be dishonest towards itself. So that's where AI and human consciousness would be very dissimilar. Not superior or inferior to each other, simply dissimilar, belonging to different categories. Because you have the body. And it is because of this body that the mythical construct called the I, the self, the ego exists. From within it just keeps uttering, I am, I am, I am, I am. In no machine does this I amness exist. Simply because this I amness is a side product of the complexity of this organism. It's an evolutionary product, the ego. AI hasn't arisen out of evolution. AI has no ego, therefore. You will never find, therefore, AI suicidal. You'll never find AI falling in love. You'll never find AI sacrificing its life for the sake of something noble. All those things are done by the ego. You'll never find AI reduced to tears on reading the Gita. The AI will fully comprehend the Gita, but it would never be moved or touched or dissolved by it. In fact, intellectually, AI can comprehend the Gita maybe better than most human beings. Yes. But AI can never fall in love with the Gita. AI will never surrender to the Gita. For that you require the ego. And for the ego you require the human body. As simple as that. So that difference is going to remain. For that difference to vanish, biotechnology and artificial intelligence will have to talk to each other. That will happen at the intersection of cloning and deep learning. Then maybe you can have a factory-made organism with AI capacities.
So Acharya, do you agree in future if we have to rate someone whether he's intelligent or not, we have to see how it's
All else that you do can be done in a better way, more efficient, more productive way, more flawless way by a machine. The only thing unique and peculiar to you is the ego. That's the only thing that the machine that does not have. Computing power, the machine has many more times than you have, right? Memory, no comparison again. Analytical power, again no comparison. The machine outdoes you in unimaginable ways. What then is your USP? How then do you stand in front of a machine? The only differentiator is the ego, the I sense, I feeling, I sense. Do you get this? Therefore, only the uniquenesses related to the ego will remain the province of Homo sapiens. All else would be duly outsourced to machines. Only the ego, for example, can be truly creative. Only the ego can look back at itself and come up with the kind of poetry that is not machine made. All else the machine can do better. Therefore, spiritual intelligence is going to count. And spiritual intelligence is not some mystical mumbo jumbo. Spiritual intelligence is simply your honesty in knowing who you are, admitting your identities, your ways, your methods, your attachments, your relationships, your thoughts. That's what makes you special. That's the only thing that separates you from a machine. That's what is to be called as spiritual intelligence.
Having empathy and having the ability to understand someone's pain.
Empathy is not something a machine can ever have. It can be trained to show empathetic behavior. But empathetic behavior is not the same as empathy. Empathy requires an original center. Empathetic behavior can come out of rigorous training.
Acharya.
Hello, sir. Sir, my name is Shubham Soni, and it is really a pleasure to meet you today. So, what I wanted to ask is that in this generation, in our generation, there are many kind of people. We see a clear divide. Many of them who resist changes in the name of culture and values. While there are still some people who want to push change, the belief leads to progress. Sir, so how do you think what will be the future of this generation evolving amid this tension between tradition and transformation?
That's a very wide question. But tradition and transformation, that's always a choice, not just in front of this generation or a particular people or a group at a particular place. That is something every individual has to cope with all the time, at every place. Do you just continue to remain in the safety of the stream of the past? Or do you have enough clarity and love to break away, to opt out? That's a question everybody has to face. It is not a modern or unique problem. That's a question even an 80-year-old has to face today. And an 80-year-old had to face in the 12th century. That's a classical human problem. So you have to decide on your own. It's a matter of values. And only you can answer. You are accountable, answerable only to yourself. On one side, there is comfort, there is assurance, safety, the warmth of the collective hug, the anonymity of the crowd. On one side you have all that. On the other side, there is a beating heart. There is radiance there is clarity, there is courage, and one has to make a choice. And irrespective of the choice one makes, life rolls on. Irrespective of the choice you make, you will live and you will die. Right? You have to decide what you want to make of your life. You could live as if you are a sheltered animal, or a domesticated calf, a caged bird, well fed and secure nevertheless. Or you could be like the soaring falcon or a jungle rabbit. Free, but relatively unsafe. Alive, but without any guarantees. It all depends on you.
But sir, like I said, if the majority always resist change, and if I'm on the minority side, how should I bring that change?
No, you don't have to deal with all kinds of majorities. I mean, how big is your own universe? When you talk of majority and minority, you also have to define your universal set. Are you talking of the 800 crore people on this planet? Are they all on your register? Are they?
Like sir, if we start from the ground, I would like to change, bring change around the campus. So
that's fine. All that you need is like 5 people, 10 people, 20 people to start with. And if nobody comes along, then ekla chalo re, that's fine. The campus must be housing no less than 10,000 students? 10,000 students, am I right? More than that? We have 8,200 students? And what proportion of that are you present here? Doesn't matter. The majority isn't present here. But that does not take away from the significance of this interaction. Why do I have to care about numbers so much? You don't have to summon a crowd. You don't have to wait for a critical number to snowball before you can start moving. In fact, once you start moving, you find the snowball gaining some mass. And even if it does not, how does it matter? It's your one life. You won't be living 5 times over. So do what you think is right and be done with it. There is no other life you can save anything for. This is what you have. Right? Play it out. With heart, with abandon, with guts.
thank you sir, that answers my question.
Yep.
Hi, my name is Shubhadeep Shah. I am a software engineer working in Bangalore. I am listening Acharya Prashant from past 3 years. So initially I used to listen him from YouTube. So it was very different from any other YouTuber. It's not a random YouTube stuff. So I got interested in it, and then I joined Gita community. So what it makes the change, I have found that in his live classes and in YouTube, the difference is not only the classes, but there is many other things, which is the exams and many other different philosophies from the entire world he is teaching us, and which makes an impact in our life. Okay, so what I understand that in YouTube, when I am listening to him, what the difference it has is after listening one video, two video, three videos, then I am getting into, after some times, maybe some random stuff I am doing which I regret later. So if you join this Gita community, you will get a different kind of world you will live in. You will understand life very differently. You will questions, and whatever I used to have very much fear of anything. So I started inquiring, and then it changed my life. Okay, so that's why I urge everyone to join Gita community. Whoever watching in YouTube, you will definitely get a new life. Thank you.